For years on, the conversation on royalties and payments of artists, musicians in the country has been a big issue. Regime to regime, there has been a big conversation on what an artist really should be paid. And today I'm joined by legendary gospel musician, at least I could call him that. And he was also in the senatorial race to become Nairobi's senator and to replace Johnson Sakaja, who's currently the governor. I'm joined by Roy Smith Mwatia, alias Rufftone, to have this conversation here at the National Center. Rufftone, karibu sana. Thank you very much for joining us on NTV.
Thank you for having me.
Great conversation on royalties and as musicians need to be paid.
Yes.
What is different now? Because Rufftone, you're close to the deputy president. To the president, beg your pardon. You're close to the president. What is different now?
Thank you for having me. The big difference that we're having is that currently, as we speak, His Excellency the President and Honorable CS Ababu Namwamba are quite passionate about the creative industry. You have realized that initially we used to have the Ministry of Sports and Heritage. But right now, this year, you realize it has been renamed from the initial naming. Now we are talking about the Ministry of Youth, Sports and underline Arts. It means it's a special docket that will zero in onto the issues concerning the creatives. The difference between the previous government and the current government is we used to knock at the doors of the previous government and they did their bit and we congratulate them. But now we are getting surprised. This one, they are knocking at our doors. Honorable Ababu Namwamba keeps on asking me, Rufftone, I hope you guys realize how passionate I am about the creative sector. The cartels that came into the industry, one thing they specialized in is dividing. It's called the rule of divide and rule. So most of the artists are really discouraged. You've had the testimonials from people like the great Mosaimo, Jemima Thiongo, Esther Wahome. And you see, the problem is that when they tried to come on to front the issues with the government, no one listened to them. So people went back into their cocoons, and the ones who are making it, they are blinded to think that this is how life will be every day. And the ones who have already been hurt are grieving silently. That's where the separation is coming from. But slowly but surely, as you can see, a great thing normally doesn't have to start big. It has to, just like the clouds in the book of, I think it's 2 Kings, Elijah aliambia Elisha, go look onto the sky, unaona nini? Akasema, I'm seeing a cloud as small as a fist, but after that mvua ikanyesha. I believe the new government has come with new, should I say, enthusiasm to make sure that the suffering and the division ends once and for all.
Thank you very much. And even as we take on the conversation on royalties for musicians and what one should be paid for their talent, I'm joined by two of what you'd call arguably some of the greatest talent that Kenyan has seen, particularly in the gospel scene. At this point in time, I'm joined by Esther Wahome and Jemima Thiongo, who've graced our music industry and our gospel space for such a long time. Great to have you ladies. How are you feeling? Perhaps I could start with Madam Jemima here. Today, story ni kuhusu royalties, tulipwe, kuna watu wanatuibia. You've been here for so long, and I'll also ask Esther to also mention something on the same. Shida imekuwa wapi ukiulizwa?
I've been here for so long. She's been here since she was a girl. Me, I came when I was already a mother. But she's my younger sister. Shida, or the problem is, we work so hard. Let me make Kenyans understand this. That when we were recording with Akina Esther, Sarake and the rest, to record an album, it was an audio, was 100,000. Bila kukatiwa. True or false?
So hiyo hakuna video and there's no music without video.
Yeah. So we come to the video, you're being charged like 50, 60 per video. So 12 songs, how much is that?
That is nearly 1.2 million.
Yes. And now you do them slowly by slowly because you are earning from the audio. You keep on pumping to them. Then, at that time, music copyright ikaridunivitetiwa, ikapata watu wengine. Then there was no camp then, there was no prisk. and there was no, which other CMO? MCSK priest can camp. And now the game started. Particularly us who were on top of them. The game started whereby they will earn the money, all the money, and they will give you what they feel you deserve to get, not what you have earned. Amen? So we did a lot of work, but we earned minimum. We would go with Esther, meet at maybe one of the offices, and she has 150, I have 150. We think we have money. They have millions. They have millions.
There have been so many errors, and that's what we are trying to undo. There's so many errors and a lot of cartels and a lot of loopholes and places we don't understand where our money goes, and we don't know why it should go there and how it goes there and how it has become right for it to go where it should not be going. We just thank God that sisi Mungu alituhurumia in other ways, like the revenues that we were supposed to earn millions from, we didn't, but by the grace of God, Mungu atukatuhurumia too, we earned from other places like selling albums and traveling and ministering in different nations. So we were among the few lucky who are able to make a living and probably get yourself your dream home, but not from the, and curse and educate our children, but not from the right places where our money was supposed to be coming from. It was just from places of God's mercy and the fact that God has elevated you with His grace. But the revenues and the avenues, the avenues that needed and had our millions, they never owned up, they never paid us, they've never. So we are hoping that we can correct these errors for the coming generation and for ourselves as well, because with music, with art, you become better as you age. I can say I am a better woman, I am a better artist, I am a better minister than I was when I was 20-something years doing Kunadawa. So we are fighting, and we are going to fight, and we are very hopeful that our government will help us. But whatever she has said, I echo it, and it's true, and there's much, much more that we can't just say in an interview. We've gone through so much. People are demoralized. That's why you can't see some of the big names, because we felt like, why don't we just go to other nations and minister there? Why don't we just invest in other businesses? But we have also realized it's not right. We can't give up. We are not becoming anything else. This is what God called us and made us to be. And we are giving birth to children who have these genes, who have these gifts, and who have these talents, and we have to fight for them even as we fight for ourselves and the coming generations.
Let me hear your word lastly as we finish this on unity in the gospel industry, because it's in the music industry really, because you guys are divided. I mean, during the press conference we would ask, so who is your go-to person? Who can I speak to if I want to get either of you? What is your take, maybe briefly, from the two of you? Maybe I could start with you.
You know, let me explain a little bit about music, and I know you know it. That music, the director of music was Satan in heaven, and Satan can use anybody, be it a gospel artist, be it a secular artist. The thing we should realize as artists, we are all artists, and we all have needs. So we should come together, fight the common enemy towards us, and unite so that we may not be divided by people who are very happy when we divide as they loot what we have. This is the time to just hold the buffalo in front of us by its horn and make sure we break the horns and even break the legs so that we can stand. I've just spoken to a girl there and said, I am shocked to hear these things because they tell me so many good things when I go to their offices. You understand? So they know how to, they push you away, we get angry. So the division, the mistake first and foremost is from us. We got angry, and we need to teach those who are coming, and those who are following them should be taught by those who have taught, so that we may be united and know that we are fighting a common enemy. Be you a secular artist, be you a gospel artist.
Esther, your sentiments on unity?
On unity, it is true that has really worked against us. And I must say, because now we've gone through, personally I've been there with almost 4 generations now, because I was with the very older generation, though I was a teen there then, but I was still in that generation. There's a generation, that's the generation of Kina Esther Wahome, Kina Jemima, Kina Ben Githai, Kina Rufftone, where we held one another, we were united, we can say. The avenues were not so many because it was the analog generation, and with the digital generation, I think the disunity came even more, and this is what has landed us into so many cartels and so many problems because lack of unity. And I can echo that lack of unity has brought us so many problems, but it wasn't there with our generation. Maybe it wasn't feasible enough because everything was not centralized into the digital platform, but it is so visible now, and kila mtu anakimbilia chake.
Let's really hope that in this new regime there is a way and perhaps kuna dawa for this music industry. My name is Brian Mushiri. Have a good time.